This is the IS-2 Shielded, a Tier 7 Soviet premium heavy tank. Now normally, when new premiums are added into the game, you're usually going to have to spend money to get your hands on them. However, you can get your hands on the IS-2 Shielded for absolutely free, and it is an incredibly easy way to get it. All you need to do is log into the game. The moment you log in the Blitz, you are automatically going to start your Advent Wheel subscription. All you have to do is log in every single day. That is it. It doesn't require much effort. You don't even need to play battles. So we can see I've already been able to get day 1 here. We've got 20 parts for the IS-2 Shielded. Of course, I spent gold and already got all the parts so I could review the tank for you guys. But yes, you have 15 days to log in. You will get some different rewards. You'll get about 200 gold worth of gold boosters. You'll get some XP boosters, which is pretty nice. You will get a holiday card container, which contains 100 to 500 gold. You'll get a pretty nice background. I actually think these backgrounds are great. So you get some really good backgrounds, some cool avatars, just some Christmassy spirit. And then we got some good camos like Grandma's Gift. I like to call it Grandma's Rug. You got some other camos here and there. You got an attachment. So overall, really solid stuff here. We can see the Chief Quest gives us the dog background as well, so if you missed your chance to get this, you can see it right here. There is a lot of great things in this little event, and if you miss out on it, I don't really know what to say. All you had to do was log in the Blitz. So if you've deleted the game, at least download it so you can get this vehicle for free, and then go back to not playing it, because you'll have a little bit of fun in the vehicle. In today's video, I will be fully reviewing this Tier 7, showcasing its capabilities, comparing it to the Tech Tree IS and the IS-2 Premium 1945, which this vehicle is very similar to, and I'll be giving it a score. So let's start off with the vehicle's statistics. How does it compare to vehicles like the IS or the IS-2 1945? Well, it's actually just kind of better. In row number 1, we have the IS-2 Shielded, row number 2, we have the IS, and row number 3, we have the IS-2. I'm not going to constantly call it the IS-2 Shielded, I'm just going to say the IS-2S for the rest of today's video. The IS-2S features 2,111 damage per minute, which is 10% more than the other premium counterpart, the IS-2, and it has 7% more than the Tech Tree counterpart. So just in damage per minute alone, you are way above the other tier 7s. And this is really nice. You actually have more damage per minute than I would say the average tier 8 heavy, which means you can actually do a pretty solid job up against them. Now you do have slightly worse pen than the other two vehicles, 175 on the IS and IS-2 versus 170 on the IS-2S, but still, it's enough to get the job done, and 5mm really isn't that big of a difference. It's the same difference for premium rounds as well, 217 on both of these tanks, where it is only 212 on the IS-2S. But I don't really think it'll be that much of a problem because the vehicle has quite a bit more damage per minute, 200 more to be exact, than the premium variant IS-2. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. It's only 5 mils a pen at the end of the day. Taking a look at the weapon handling, it just gets flat better for the Shielded. As we can see, the IS-2 is, well, 2.8 seconds of aiming time, which is flat worse than the Shielded. It's 0.398 dispersion, flat worse than the Shielded, and its on movement is way worse as well. We can also see this is a similar case for the IS on the Tech Tree. It does have 10% better aiming time, but it doesn't really matter when your base dispersion is worse and your on-movement dispersion is worse. Essentially, the IS-2S has a much better gun, not only in terms of damage per minute, but even in terms of accuracy, and I'd be willing to argue aiming time even over the IS, because you're going to be more aimed in while moving. Talking about mobility, how does it look for this vehicle? Well, it is definitely the slowest in top speed and reverse speed, but it's not actually as slow as you think. For example, it has a top speed of 32 and an effective power to weight of 15 on hard terrain, 12.5 on medium, and 10 on soft. And if we compare that to the IS, well, it's actually better on every single terrain. What that means is even though the IS does have better top speed and even better power to weight ratio on paper, that does not mean the tank is faster. The IS is actually slower than the IS-2 Shielded, so just keep that in mind. Now the IS-2 is faster. We can see the effective power to weight on all 3 terrains is better, and the effective just base horsepower to ton ratio is better. It also has a slightly higher top speed of 34 versus 32, but the same reverse speed. So essentially what that means is, even in mobility, while the IS-2 Shielded is slightly slower than the other 2 tanks, it's really a negligible amount, and you won't really notice it making a huge difference in the battlefield, especially because the Shielded also has better traverse speed than the IS-2 1945. So overall, the shielded is just flat better, and it gets even better because hit points. The shielded has 50 more than the IS-2 and the IS. It's just really confusing to me. Now you see turret armor is 140 and it's 135 for the shielded, but that's actually not how it works out. If we make our way over to the armor profile, this here is the IS-2 shielded. We can see that the mantlet is about 250 mils thick, which means that if you are having enough pen, you will be able to cut through this mantlet here, especially tier 8s. They're going to butter right through that. We got a weak turret cheek here that's only about 150 thick, and a big ol' hatch on the roof, which is 94 mils thick. This part of the upper plate's 220, and this part goes upwards of 240, and the lower plate's 117. Now let's swap to the IS-2 shielded. First of all, that upper plate is flat better. 250 millimeters of upper plate armor on this tank is actually insane. When you pair that with 6 degrees of gun depression, that upper plate goes upwards of 280. Yeah, no joke, like tier 8s are actually going to bounce the upper plate of this vehicle. It's kind of insane when you think about it. The turret cheeks are much better though. Look at that, 340. I think Wargaming mistyped and they meant to do 240 because it's literally almost a 100 difference here. But yeah, it's 344 on the turret cheek. So if you hit this, you will not pen. Does not matter if you're even in a tank destroyer. Chances are you're going to bounce the entire frontal area if you hit the gun. This is all going to bounce here. This is all going to bounce here. It's upwards of 280 to 300 plus. So the only spot you're going to pen is this little cutout. Now it is pretty weak. It's only about 150. But still, if you miss anywhere, you're bouncing. That's pretty strong. The hatch is also quite a bit better, 130 versus the 94. Again, you're not going to get many bounces with this, but if you are hauled down and, you know, the occasional shell hits the top or angles off the edges, you might get some bounces from tier 6s. Overall, the armor is flat better on the IS-2 shielded than it is on the IS-2 1945. It's kind of insane just how much better this vehicle is in just about every single stat. So now that we've showcased the armor profile, now that we have showcased the stats, let's actually get into some battles here. So I'm excited. I actually think this vehicle is going to be incredible. I mean, the fact that its stats are flat better than the other variants alone makes it pretty impressive that Wargaming's giving it away for free. Why wouldn't they just give away the IS-2 for free or the IS-2 Pravda? But instead, they've given away the IS-2 shielded. It has PBR, it looks great, and you can put whatever camo you want on it, which is pretty nice. Here we are in our first battle. Here we are in battle number 1. Let's put the Santa hat on because we're going into gamer mode. Alrighty, let us head right into the front line. Now, yeah, mobility actually feels pretty good on this tank. The power to weight is very solid as we can see, easily chunking up to 30 kilometers per hour. It's not the fastest, but it'll get the job done. Up against us, we have a Tiger 1 and a Tiger 131. They really don't have much in terms of heavies. There's the Tiger right in front, and while this vehicle may have a better gun compared to the other IS variants, I should point out that does not mean it's a accurate or good gun. It is still going to suffer a lot in terms of accuracy and overall dispersion. But when it hits really, really hard, taking a literal third off of the enemy Tiger 131. Alright, well, let's reload. We got the enemy Tiger right in front of us, and bonk, 454. And the fact that we actually have good DPM in this vehicle is, it's pretty nice, to be completely real. So the Tiger shot, we're just going to aim it right on his lower plate, and there you go. You can see the 175 pen is plenty to cut through our opponents. We're just going to over-angle our lower plate here. There you go. He bounces us. We are going to reload in just a second, and let's poke the enemy Tiger. Does obviously out-reload us, but I don't think it really matters because the Tiger is now 200 health. Not really sure why the Tiger thought making that maneuver was a good decision, but oh well, that sounds like a him problem. We're going to aim it on the AT-8 and bonk, 425. And our T-28 HTC finishes off the Tiger. Well, this is a pretty solid game so far. God, the DPM just feels so good on this. It's so weird to drive a tier 7 with this much alpha and then just keep on chunking shell after shell. We can also see that armor getting some really good bounces here. The thing that people have to realize is that tier 7 is not a tier of skill. And because of that, you're going to get a lot more bounces than you would obviously at a high tier in a tank like this. So because of that, I am quite confident in this vehicle's armor. Now we are going to push up. We're going to cap this base really quick because yeah, I don't want to lose on base cap. We actually got the Tiger 131 off to our side. Well, we had the Tiger 131 off to our side is what I should say. T-34-2 is going to rush us, and not really sure what this player's big brain idea was, but we're going to track him in the open, and let's hope that our KV-2 finishes him off. Let's just keep on capping. There you go. KV-2 does indeed finish that player off. Alright, well, there you go. We have captured this base, so hopefully we won't lose on supremacy. Now we have the AT-8, and we're just going to aim at an HE underneath his vehicle. Pretty easy stuff. You'll see the traverse speed's actually fairly decent on this tank. Not too bad at all. We are up to 3,200 damage dealt so far. I do have to be careful, but at the same time, we should be able to get out some big slaps. Got the Ag Panther. Unfortunate, but never hurts to snap a shell. You miss every shot you don't take is what they say. So we took it, and we missed. We miss every shot we take is what it should be for me. Alright, the Ag Panther is going to capture the base, but I'm not too worried. We should be able to poke him. Let's aim it on his roof. There you go. Nice 395 damage shot straight through his vehicle. And the Ag Panther gets shot and lit on fire. Let's hope that he rams me. Come on, do it. Do it. Yes! That was a mistake from you, bro. Bonk. Long live the enemy Ag Panther. All that's left is a VK-30, which I actually haven't seen at all. It's very possible that this player is AFK. If my team's gonna... Oh, there's the VK. Alright, well, we're in a bit of a predicament here because we have a... Okay. We definitely need to cap. I'm gonna cap. I wonder if we can get a shell into the VK. No, unfortunate. Alright, well, I'm going to have to cap the base. Unfortunately, we're going to miss out on the damage, but I don't really have much of a choice. I'm going to have to let my T-28 farm that. Let's head over to the base cap. One of the downsides of supremacy. We missed out a decent chunk as well, but I'm not going to complain. We did a lot of damage, like 4,000 or something. Pretty nasty this game. And, yeah, that's pretty solid. I mean, the enemy team easily could have won if instead of just YOLOing in, they had played a bit more passive and stayed over towards the base over here. But they didn't do that, so we won. I'm not going to complain. The IS-2 worked really well. You can again see, though, that the accuracy is not going to be the major selling point of this vehicle. I'm also a little confused on what our HTC is doing, to be completely real. Maybe he's playing with this guy, but, why? But why? I don't even know what I'm watching. I'm just going to finish him off. There you go. I'll take the kill. I legit don't know what the HTC was doing, but ramming. You know what? Whatever. I'll take the 11 damage. Thank you for sparing it. Let's see. We were able to deal 4,026, and we blocked 1,300. We killed 4 players and pulled out an ace for my first battle in the vehicle. That is a pretty good result and a great showcase of... really everything I would have to say about the vehicle. If you don't believe it's my first battle, there you go. So let's do one more game, and we'll see if the IS-2 can do as well. I don't know if we're going to deal 4,000 damage, but if we do, I'm not going to complain. Here we are in our second battle. We are on Oasis Palms, the map that turns my face orange because my monitor stretches around me. So, which way do we want to go? Well, I'm going to go towards heavy side because at super low tiers, you can expect players to make uneducated moves, which means heavies are probably going to go to town. Now, sometimes you'll see heavies go to town. Even sometimes I'll go to town if I'm a skilled player in higher tiers, but it's just usually expected to see any low tier player driving their heavy into the town, and there you go. So we got the Forest Witch spotted. I know the Forest Witch actually has really, really solid lower plate armor, so we're going to aim it on his turret cheek and get a nice shot. Unfortunately, our KV-2, well, you know what? Actually not. Our KV-2 got pretty lucky there and ended up getting a bounce. All right, let's aim it on the Forest Witch, and yeah, you can definitely see that super, super troll armor. Wow, that was a lucky shot. While the gun is pretty good, let's be real, that was not the gun that hit that. That was pure luck that we ended up nailing that shot into the Forest Witch. So let's use his vehicle's pretty good mobility, head up a bit. This thing actually is decent at side scraping too, which is kind of interesting. So we got the Ag Panther off to the side. What we're going to do right now is we're going to drive up this ridge, as this player's not going to expect it, and then we're going to aim it on the side of his turret. And there you go, a nice 380 damage shot. We got a Tiger 131 over here, and I'm still a little confused on where the Churchill 7 went. The Churchill 7 was spotted. He must be at the same spot. Nope, he's over by the Tiger. All right, well, I could care less. We're going to push over to the Tiger 131, and we're going to get a bonk right into his vehicle. Nice 414. And I wonder how this tank does in a face hug. It has a weak hatch, and that's most likely where I would aim if I was the Tiger. But guess we'll find out. Yes, he does indeed hatch us. Loads premium, though. As I did say, Tier 6s are going to struggle to pen this hatch. We're just going to drive backwards and forwards here. He's like, oh, no, oh, that's great. And there you go. Easy shot. Bit of a low roll, but we still obliterated that player. I mean, this tank feels great. It looks amazing, too. Any vehicle that has paid PBR just looks fantastic in my eyes, and yeah, this tank is really rocking it well. Oh, that's great. I can't. That was an HE shell as well. I figured if we were going to hit the player, and it wasn't going to pen, because maybe it hits the track or something, might as well load HE. And, well, it ended up working. We got the Yag Panther all the way at the back of the map, aiming, still aiming, and nice, 420. So, yeah, I actually have really no complaints about the IS-2 shielded. Sure, the gun is pretty inaccurate, but this is a Soviet Tier 8 heavy. If you expected an accurate gun, you shouldn't be playing in Tier 7. When it comes to the Alpha, very nice. The pen felt moderate, and I didn't really have any struggles, sure. When you're fighting Tier 8s, it will be a bit more challenging, but these tanks are always kind of designed to fight Tier 7s and Tier 6s. Once you go up against Tier 8s, they do definitely struggle. I would give this vehicle a solid 8.5 out of 10. It's actually really fun. It's flat better than all the other IS variants in the game, and the fact that it's free is incredible. So I would highly recommend that you log into Blitz right now after watching today's video, and after clicking the subscribe button, and you go start your subscription. You'll have a very, very good tank waiting for you at the end of your 15 days. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.